Okay, so you are all very welcome to our midweek exhale. It is Wednesday again. They do come round quickly, and this is your opportunity to take a pause, to just to just be here and breathe. There's nothing you have to do other than breathe. My name's Marie, and I'm one half of the Exhale Awakening. That's somewhere on your screen, and I'm not going to do the pointing. Is Sharon, and she's the other half. And our session today is going to be similar to all of our midweek exhales because they all have the same shape. We do 4 different breath styles. Each breath style begins with birdsong and finishes with silence. And the birdsong and the silence are very deliberate. They're not just ways into the breath and ways out. They are very much part of the medicine. The bird song is something that we know in our bones. It's something that we know from our very distant ancestors who, when they were out hunting or when they were out doing anything, if they could hear the birds, they were safe. Because if there was anything dangerous around, the birds weren't. So if the birds were singing, there was safety. And our nervous system still remembers that. So we automatically feel a sense of safety when we hear birdsong. And that's why we begin each section with birdsong. And then we finish with silence because it also brings us into the parasympathetic nervous system. But silence gives our bodies a chance to do the things our bodies needs to do. Because when our body is on alert, it hasn't a chance to do all the amazing things our bodies can do. And I mean, at its very simplest, it's rest and digest, but it's so much more than that because it involves making neural pathways in your brain. It involves all those things. So that's why we have the birdsong and the silence. Our breath styles in this session are, we're going to start with a little bit of awareness, and then we're going to move into a little bit of coherence in the first segment. The second segment is going to be, it's going to be gentle conscious connected breathing, but it's going to be nose-mouth conscious connected breathing. Be a little less gentle than normal, but still gentle. The third segment is going to be a somatic breath where we're going to feel into parts of our body as we breathe. And our last one is actually, I was going to say our last one is as usual, but it's not. Our last one is going to be awareness again in this session. But you don't have to remember any of that because we will guide you through all of that. What else do I need to say? We have one rule here, and that's be comfortable. So make sure you have everything that you need for your physical comfort. And that may be a blanket or a jumper that you can put on or take off, depending on what temperature changes you experience while you breathe. And yeah, making sure that you are making sure that you have everything you need for your own physical comfort. However, it is breath work, and breath work by its nature sometimes can bring us to places that maybe feel a little sticky or a little less comfortable. And the invitation in this session is to sit with that, to push through it. We never ask you to push through. We never ask you to endure or any of those things. But if it's right for you this evening to just sit with that discomfort and see what it has for you, maybe it'll begin to soften. Maybe you'll get insights into why there's discomfort. Always knowing that you can pull back if you want to, but always remembering as well that sometimes our minds are very good at telling us, though that's not for me this evening, or whatever time you're doing this, and just being aware of that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that not being for you this evening. So also being aware of that. So yeah, just everything we offer you is invitational. There may be some of the breath styles we begin and you go, yeah, I really don't like this. And the invitation is maybe to just give it a go, because just because you didn't like it in a different session or on a different day, or even on a different time today, doesn't mean that in this moment you'll not get something from it. But always knowing that you can go back to your natural breath rhythm, or you can go back to any of the other breath styles at any point in the session. Our session today is based on on the Aspen, because we're doing the deeper exhale with the Aspen on Sunday. So we thought we would sort of get into that place with the Aspen in this session. And the Aspen is the trembling tree. It's called the Creha in Irish, which is the trembling tree. And Creha is trembling. So it's the trembling tree. And the other thing about Aspen that just blows me away is the fact that all the Aspen trees, the roots are all joined. So there's lots of trees, there's one root. Just a little insight into the Aspen tree. On Sunday evening, we'll go into lots more about the Aspen tree, but we are going to mention the Aspen tree as we breathe. So I think that's probably all I have to say. I don't think I forgot anything, did I? I'm getting a nod, so that's good. So you can do this either seated or lying down. If you're seated, please make sure you're properly supported. And if you're lying down, make sure your pillow's not too high. We do invite you, if movement feels like it's going to help your experience, we do invite you to bring movement down. The one thing we ask you not to do is stand up, because breathwork by its nature it changes the chemistry inside your body, and it can make you lightheaded. And if you stand up quickly, there's a danger that you might fall. I know you're at home. Things might happen where your attention is needed. Just bring your breath back to your natural rhythm and stay there for a few moments, allowing everything to settle, and then slowly get up if you do have to get up or if you are called upon. So all that being said, make yourself comfortable, and I am going to start. I never did this before. I'm going to start the music or the bird song. So just allow the bird song to bring you into presence. Just allow the bird song for a few seconds to bring you into this moment. And just beginning to notice what you have arrived here with. And we've all come from whatever portion of our days is finished, and we've all had all sorts of different things going on. But noticing what you've brought with you. And maybe beginning in your body. And just noticing how your body feels. And maybe like the Aspen, you may need to move some part of your body because it's stiff or it's sore or maybe it's tingly, and doing that. And then noticing your mind. Maybe there's lots of whispers coming from every direction. And just noticing that. And maybe not straining to hear what the whispers are. Maybe not traveling with them, just allowing them to be. And noticing what feelings are there. Maybe they're not easy to find, and that's okay too. You don't have to search. And then allowing your attention to find your breath. And noticing where you feel your breath. What parts of your body is the breath very evident in? Maybe it's your chest, or maybe it's at your nostrils. Maybe it's further down towards the bottom of your lungs. And maybe you can find another part of your body that the breath's moving. And that might be your back, or it might be your sides. See, can you notice movement somewhere else? Finding all the parts of the body that the breath is moving. And if you find those whispers in your mind are beginning to maybe take your attention, just gently bringing it back when you notice. We're going to begin to take some control of the breath. And we're going to begin maybe to bring a little bit of balance in. So at the bottom of your next exhale, just taking a pause. And we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And continuing that in your own rhythm. Maybe it'll be 4, maybe it'll be 3, maybe it'll be 5. Keeping those breaths balanced. And maybe being aware of the fact that you're breathing in community. Just noticing what that feels like. And as we approach the first silence, maybe you want to bring the balanced breath into the silence with you. Or maybe you want to go back to your natural breath and just rest.
And as the bird's song brings the silence to a gentle close, just noticing how that silence felt. Maybe it's the first time you've been in silence today. Maybe not. Maybe you've been in silence already. So you have something you can compare to. But just noticing that combination of breath and silence. And for our second segment, we are going to breathe in a connected way. So connecting the breath at the top and at the bottom, letting the inhale become the exhale and the exhale become the inhale. And we're going to breathe in through our nose, imagining that we are pulling up nourishment from this one root system that is beneath us all. Breathing in through the nose, pulling on that nourishment. And then as the exhale becomes full, inhale becomes full and turns into the exhale, just letting that exhale naturally fall out through the mouth, like the whispers or the trembles of the leaves in the aspen. So just trying that now, taking a breath from the very bottom of your lungs all the way up to the top, as if from the roots of the aspen. And at the top, just letting your exhale fall out through the mouth as if whispering through the leaves of the tree. And try again, inhaling from the root ball, one root for each of us. And then letting that breath fall out, whispering through the leaves. You find your own rhythm now. Pulling the nourishment in on the inhale. Letting the breath go softly through the mouth on the exhale. And keep checking in with your breath, noticing whether you need to speed the breath up or more probably slow the breath down. Keeping the inhale through the nose deep, all the way to the bottom of your lungs, your ribs widening to the left and to the right. Before you let the breath go gently through the mouth, like a whisper in the wind. Bringing the breath in through the nose and letting the breath out gently through the mouth. We're in the last minute of this breath segment now. So just for a couple more breaths, bringing your attention to that inhale, followed by the gentle whispery exhale. And on your next exhale, just letting the breath return to its natural rhythm, whatever that is for you, as we move into the restful silence.
And again, as the bird song begins, just reflecting on what that silence felt like. Maybe it was different to the first one. Maybe it was exactly the same. And in our next breath segment, the Aspen also trembles, and where I'm not going to invite you to do anything that will cause you to tense up that much you'll tremble, we are going to explore our body and what that tension feels like and what it feels like to let it go. So just allowing your natural breath rhythm and taking a few slow breaths. Maybe bringing your attention to your feet. Just noticing what your feet feel like. And on your next inhale, maybe bringing your toes up and bringing tension into your feet. And then letting it go with the exhale. Maybe repeating that. Tension with the inhale and letting it go with the exhale, and really noticing what that feels like. Maybe when you're bringing tension to your feet, maybe you will feel a slight tremble. After your next time, moving your attention to your legs, your shins and your calves, maybe your knees. And again, on the inhale, bringing the tension in and letting it go with that whispered exhale. Really feeling what it feels like when that tension comes in. And after your next exhale, moving your attention further up to the tops of your legs and into your buttocks. And again, bringing the tension in. Really in the inhale, and then letting it go on the exhale. Again, maybe you feel the tremble with that tension. There's no need to push, just gently bringing tension in. And after your next exhale, again moving your focus up into your belly and bringing the tension in, maybe pulling the belly in tight. And then letting it go on the exhale. Bringing tension into your belly and your back. And allowing it to soften with every exhale. Inhale, tightening, exhale, letting go. And after your next exhale, we're going to move that attention up another bit into your chest and shoulders. Every inhale, bringing tension. Be bringing your shoulders up. And then letting go on the exhale. noticing, can you feel that tension anywhere else as you tense your shoulders and your upper chest? Noticing what that does to the rest of your body. After your next exhale, we're going to move down our arms and hands. Maybe making a fist with your hands and feeling the tension travel up towards your shoulders. And then letting go on the exhale. Making the fist on the inhale, letting go on the exhale. Then we're going to move up to our head and our face. We're going to bring the tension in on the inhale, scrunching up your face, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, scrunching it all up, and then letting go on the exhale. And let's do that a couple more times. Feeling that softening as you exhale. And then maybe before we finish, we're going to bring tension to our whole body, feeling how one part impacts the other. Just like that single root of the aspen, bringing tension to our whole body and then letting it go on the exhale. Feel how when you bring tension, all the parts of the body are connected, like the roots of the aspen. And on your next exhale, letting go and bringing your breath back to its natural rhythm. And as we approach the silence, maybe just giving yourself a gentle move and getting ready to rest.
And as the birdsong once again brings the silence to a close, just noticing the quality of that silence. Maybe it felt like it went so much quicker. Or maybe it might be slowing down. Maybe it might be easier to be in presence. Or maybe there's a sense of distraction that's building. Just noticing what that is for you as the bird song continues. And your work in this breathwork is largely done now. All you need to do in this next breath segment is be aware, is notice. And we can start with the body. How does your body feel connected to the surface you're seated or lying down on? After those contractions and releases, the encouraged tension, the intentioned relax. Just listening to your body. Is there anything your body is saying to you? Maybe being in silent appreciation for the connection and the joint walk through life. You and your body. And noticing your thoughts. Allowing space for the thoughts to move in and out of your mind like clouds moving across the blue sky. There's no need to hold on to any of them. You can just watch them. And yet maybe there might be one or two that linger for a little while. Something that you might just notice, or a thread of wisdom that you might want to follow. And just noticing how you're feeling. And those feelings might come by way of thought. They might come by way of sensations from your body, things that you are physically feeling. You might have emotions arising. All you're doing is just breathing and noticing, breathing and observing. You might cast your mind back to when you arrived, and you might see if you notice a difference. You also might see what feels exactly the same. And as we go into the final silence of this session, just allowing all of that to be without any judgment, knowing that it's all perfect.
And as the birdsong begins for what is the final time in this session, just taking a moment before we move on to reflect on that silence and how that silence felt. And it's time now to start beginning to come back beginning to maybe feel that connection again with the surface under you. Whether that's a chair or a bed. Maybe feeling that connection the whole way down into the earth and feeling that support. And then beginning to introduce just some gentle movement. So maybe that's your head or your shoulders, fingers, your toes, your wrists or your ankles. Gently bringing some movement back in. Maybe opening your eyes and looking around the space that you're in at familiar things. And then when you have found yourself back in the space, beginning to consider coming back to the Zoom room. You're also in a Zoom room. Beginning to think about coming back to the Zoom room.
And whilst you make that journey back to the Zoom room, I just want to bring your attention to some links that we've popped into the chat box. Places where you can get the recording if you'd like to do this again. And if you're watching this on recording, well done, you've found us, either on YouTube or in our community. And the links are both there, both free. But in our community, there's no ads. So if you are watching this on YouTube, do like and subscribe before you go, but then pop into the threshold and find us in the community where there are no ads. We do 2 longer breathworks each month. The next one of those is it's Sunday coming, the 14th, when we'll be breathing with Aspen a little deeper, with a little more Celtic wisdom woven through the work that we do. And then on I think it's the 26th of June, we have our breathwork with astrology as the sun will have moved by then from Gemini into Cancer. And you can get tickets for those in our shop now. We have a tea shop, which makes me smile every time I say it, and the link is there. And there's a couple more links there, one for the breath coach training and one for our directory listing, if you would like to pop over there and give us a review or send us a message. But the one I most want to bring your attention to is the link I've reposted there, the community invitation, because we have revamped our community, and we are inviting you, if you wish to join us in our first paid tier at £37 a month. We're inviting you to become a member of our root ball. So if you liked that idea of the root being, there being one root that many trees grow from, we're doing that within our Acorn community. We are holding something called Breath Keepers, where there is always somebody holding the community. So we invite you to be a breath keeper for 1 day a month. And there's all the information about that is on the link I've given you there. So I'm not going to go into it now. But we would love it if you would like to become a breath keeper and join us in holding the community. We're calling it the heart of the community rather than the root of the community. But it occurred to me whilst we were breathing today that one root ball is very similar to what we're creating. The one root ball of the Aspen is very similar to what we're creating with the community. So all of that said, do take care of yourself. Drink plenty. Sleep if you can. Just generally take care of your well-being. Although this has been gentle, there are nevertheless it impacts us in ways that perhaps we're not sure of when we are here in doing the session. So let that let that unfold for you over the next day or so, and just be kind and gentle as you go. We're now going to open the room for Hearth and Voices, an opportunity for you to share either in the chat box or verbally if you are here with us live. For those who are not here with us live, there'll be somewhere underneath, I think, where if you'd like to leave us a comment, we would love to witness your journey. And without further ado, I'm going to switch off record.